Today, we're going to be talking about the new updates from Gemini 2.5 Flash. So if you've not seen this, Google announced some brand new updates for Gemini 2.5 Flash. You can see the benchmarks here in terms of how it performs, etc. This has new capabilities, including native audio output and improvements to the Live API. So the Live API will actually allow you to use a preview version of audio and visual input and native audio out dialog. So what does that mean? For example, what you can actually do is get outputs from the API when you're coding using Gemini 2.5 Flash, and it will actually talk to you. Let's run an example.
Model can converse in more expressive ways and capture the really nuance of how we speak and seamlessly switch to a whisper.
So you see how it's like switching between different tonalities, different types of voices, etc. And this is inside the Gemini API, and it will be available later today, as you can see. If you want to get access to the Gemini API, all you need to do is just go over to AI Studio and you can get access to that stuff. So you see how it switches between like foreign languages, stuff like that. That's basically one of the new features that you can get directly. So pretty crazy stuff. And it's absolutely amazing what you can do now. And if we keep going through now, if you want to get access to this, let me show you exactly how. So if we go over to AI Studio, you can go in the top right here and start using Gemini Flash Preview, as you can see over here. And then from here, you can start coding, right? So for example, if we take a example prompt, I'll take some examples from the AI Profit Boardroom just for prompts and examples. So if we go to SEO section, then we're going to go to the master list of prompts. We'll just try this one and see how it is. Now, I don't know how good this API is. I just want to test it and see if it is any good or not. So we're using the 0520 model as well. That's important to note. So you want to make sure that you've selected 0520 in the outputs. And it should be really fast as well when it's coming back to us. So it's also got thinking enabled inside there as well. So you can switch between thinking and no thinking mode on the right hand side. El Sueño Mexicano says, when is the price going to increase? So we'll probably increase it next month. I think we'll get the coaching very soon. And then we'll be doing the 2 coaching sessions inside the AI Profit Boardroom twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week. If people want them every day, we can probably extend to that as well. The main thing is just making sure that you get the best training you possibly can inside the community and that you get value, right? That's what the game is all about. So make sure you sign up now, link in the comments and description before you miss out on that. So we're going to take the code, and then what we can do is just preview that. So let's go over to liveweave.com. In fact, I think we just built that in P5JS, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, P5JS scene. Okay, let's go to that. Now we're going to plug this in and we'll hit play on that. There we go with Dino Runner. And that's what we've just built. Pretty impressive that you can just build that out in one single prompt. Honestly, I think the older version of Flash wouldn't have done that so well. And also, we just use that for free, right? We didn't pay any money. I haven't got my credit card details plugged into AI Studio yet, but you can just build this out. Pretty crazy. Now, for Gemini 2.5 Pro DeepThink, some people are asking questions about that. I don't think it's available publicly to try yet, unless you're a trusted tester, right? So for example, if we go to the settings over here, Gemini 2.5, we won't find DeepThink mode as far as I can see. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I can't see DeepThink mode inside here. If we go over to Gemini, we've got 2.5 Pro preview, but there's no DeepThink mode. And Veo 2 is still in there for some reason. So Veo 3 is not being released inside there directly yet. But we can use 2.5 Flash, and that is the new model from Gemini. So there's 2 ways to use it. You can use it inside gemini.google.com. You can also use it inside AI Studio. All right. So let's go back to our list of prompts. And we'll try another one now. So can you create a simple 3D car simulator? By the way, if you want like some actual money-making tips for building this stuff, feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom. But inside here, we're just going to plug in another prompt, see what we get back. You can also switch on grounding with Google Search, which will connect this API to the internet as well when you're searching with it, which is pretty crazy. Now you can see that's coding it out, right? The thing that's really the big differentiator here is, number one, if you're coding at scale and you do need to pay for the API at that point, then it's going to be a lot cheaper to build stuff out. So I think you'll see a lot more apps and tools being developed with it. But also it's going to allow audio output and input in the API starting from later today. And additionally, it's really fast, right? So it's a lot faster even when we've toggled on the thinking mode of a Flash preview. Just going to go back and start a new chat, and then we'll try this out. So just make sure you do have Pro Preview selected. So Flash preview, and then we just need to code with that, right? Now, if you want to get access to this as well, another paid method is you can go over to models inside OpenRouter, and then you'll see Gemini 2.5 Flash preview plus 2.5 Flash thinking preview, right? So if we compare these two different options here, you can see that Gemini Flash preview, thinking mode enabled, is going to cost 15 cents per million input tokens, right? And it's got a million token context window, as you can see as well. Now, if we go over to 2.5 Flash preview with no thinking allowed, it's actually the same price. Right? It says per million input tokens, but for output tokens, it's a lot cheaper to use non-thinking mode, right? So here you can see it's $3.50 per million output tokens. Whereas if you go over to Flash preview, without thinking mode enabled, you can see here it says 60 cents per million output tokens. So it's 20% of the price. So if we go over to our car simulator now, and we'll see how we're getting on. Now we'll put that in, hit play, and that one actually doesn't work, right? So when we've tested that, I think that's because it's not P5JS, right? If we go up, yeah, single. So let's just test it out inside LiveWeave, and we'll see how that performs. Plug that in. Here's the output, and that is a game built. Boom. Let's just make sure it works. So we can change the camera angle, and we can drive the car. You can go backwards and forwards, switch the camera angle. We've got a train coming at us. Let's dodge that. Here we go. And now we'll keep driving forward. It's not the best game ever created, but to be fair, it was free and it was easy to build. And it did work first time round, so fair play to them. Now, another way you can use this is you can go directly inside the chat here. Honestly, if I'm building out with Flash preview, then the way that I build it out here is inside AI Studio. If you want to code something a bit more impressive, then I would go over to Visual Studio Code. So let's go inside here. We'll go to Visual Studio Code. And then we go down to a tool like Klein or RuCode. We can start using this, right? Now, one thing to note here is inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free, you can get my full SOP on basically building and automating anything with Gemini 2.5. So if you want to get all these different ways of coding and building stuff out, whether it's a browser use agent, make.com, NA10, Klein, etc. If you want to learn how to use Klein, you can get all the SOPs and the step-by-step instructions for setting this stuff up. Like you can see right here, we've got full processes for everything, right? And that's inside the AI Success Lab. So feel free to get that. It's completely free. Link in the comments description. So as we go through now, let's start building stuff out. We're going to open up, I'm just going to close Copilot Agent, close that. Okay, good to go. Let's go inside Klein. Then we're going to go inside the settings. We want to build for free, right? So if we want to build for free, we're going to select Gemini. And then over here, we'll go back to AI Studio, grab the API key. Again, full SOP, if you want to slow this stuff down and just get the easy mode, you can just get it from the AI Success Lab, which is free. And then we'll go back in here, we'll plug in the API key, we'll hit save on that. And then from here, we can start building out, right? So if we say, for example, okay, create a sleek, modern landing page for SEO, let's go with that. And then we just need to make sure in the models section of Google Gemini, we need to select the latest model from Gemini. All right. So you can see there's a bunch of options here. I can't actually see 2.5 Flash preview, the latest version inside here. I just want to check Klein's Twitter. Sometimes they'll make an announcement if you can use it. So let's have a look here. Yeah, so you can see here they've said Gemini 2.5 Flash 0520, which is the latest model, is live at Klein. This might be the best value you can use, etc. So you can get access. So if we go over to Klein, let's have a look here. I think the way that you'd have to use it is actually use OpenRouter to code with this inside Klein. So if we go to OpenRouter, you can get an API key in the top right. Then we'll go back over to Visual Studio Code. We're going to select OpenRouter. Then we're going to select 2.5. And I assume you go with Flash Preview. So we'll hit save there. And then from there, we can start building out. Then from here, we can run the command. So you can see how fast that is to build stuff out. Let's run the command here. Honestly, from what I can see, that probably needs some improvement. So I would go back inside here and just be like, okay, Make it beautiful, sleek, modern, etc. But yeah, that's basically how you can build stuff out, right? So you can use AI Studio, you can use Gemini, you can use it inside Client, etc. And it's all available to access. So if you want to get access to all of my best SOPs for using all the new Gemini updates, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. This comes with tons of automations, including like NA10 outbound appointment setters, this Slack automation. We've got all these different updates coming every single day. So make sure you don't miss out on that. It's completely free inside the AI Success Lab community. Comes with 6,700 members, as you can see right here. And also, if you want to upgrade, you want to get support, if you want to join a community more focused on making money and saving time with AI, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Comes with weekly coaching, lots of support inside the community, and also all of my best agents, tips, templates, and workflows.